Hi everyone, welcome back to the LFC Transfer Room channel, and in today's video we're going to be covering my predicted lineup for the Liverpool Champions League final against Real Madrid. Just before we head into the predictions, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on, because 5,000 subscribers, we are closing down on you very quickly. Now with that being said, let's get straight into the lineup. So starting us off, I feel like 4 out of the back 5 is pretty self-explanatory. Obviously in goal we've got Alisson Becker. Obviously last season wasn't his greatest of seasons, but ever since that West Brom goal he's definitely turned it around. And I think we can comfortably say he's the best goalkeeper in the world. We've certainly learnt our lesson from the last time out in Kiev. Obviously we had Kris in between the sticks and he cost us 2 goals. And as I say, you need a world-class goalkeeper to win your trophies, and Alisson is exactly that. He's already got the experience of winning the Champions League final, and he kept a clean sheet in there. And let's not forget, Alisson has saved us on many off occasions this season, so picking him in goal should be pretty straightforward. Moving on to the right back, another pretty straightforward decision. We're going to go with Trent Alexander-Arnold. A man who's completed the football at the age of just 23 years old, obviously winning the Premier League, the Champions League, and this season the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. And he'll be hoping to add to that tally with the second Champions League trophy with the match on Saturday. He definitely has a battle on his hands with Vinicius Jr. Obviously the last time we played Real Madrid it didn't go too well for him. Moving on to the first centre back, the best defender in the world, Virgil van Dijk. Last time in Kiev, obviously Virgil van Dijk started that match as well, and I must say, I thought we defended pretty well, albeit we did concede 3 goals. Van Dijk in particular though, he had a pretty solid match. He kept Ronaldo, the best player in the world, or supposedly best player of all time, pretty much in his back pocket throughout the whole 90 minutes. And obviously for the big occasions, you are going to start your best players, and Virgil van Dijk is exactly that. Moving on to the next centre back though, this one is a bit of a tough decision. Obviously we've got Joel Matip, Konate, Joel Gomez. Gomez probably not started enough games for us this season to start a Champions League final. But who do I think Klopp will go with? I think he's going to pick Ibrahima Konate. That's not to say Matip's bad. I personally would go with Joel Matip. I think he offers much more of an offensive threat to Real Madrid. But Konate, obviously, he's played the majority of the Champions League matches. We saw it in the FA Cup as well. Konate started the majority of the matches in the FA Cup, so he got the start in the final. And I think the same thing's going to happen in the Champions League. He's proved time and time again he's going to be a world-class centre-half. And I think he just turned 23 yesterday. What a lovely little birthday present this will be, winning a Champions League trophy. Moving on to left back, another one, I think you could genuinely argue a case if it was based off form, whether Tsimikas should start, but we're going to go with Andy Robertson. Form tends to go out the window for finals, so I think Robertson definitely deserves that start. And as I'm going to say for the rest of the video, you start your best players in the big games, and Andy Robertson is the best in the world. Like I was saying about the form thing as well, it'll be a bit of a strange decision to just randomly start Tsimikas ahead of Robertson. The guy's already got experience in 2 Champions League finals, winning 1 of them, so there'll be literally no reason to drop him whatsoever. Now moving on to the midfield, probably the most tough decisions Jurgen Klopp has to make. Starting off in the defensive midfield, I'm going to go with Fabinho. I must say, hearing the news about Fabinho and Thiago being injured just filled me up with a bit of doubt. However, I think with Fabinho back in training, yeah, I've got to start that guy in the final. He's been getting a lot of criticism as of late. I think a lot of it is just unjustified, saying he's too slow, he's not in the right positions or whatnot, but I think he's played fairly well for us. There's definitely a case for the Aston Villa match where he didn't play particularly well, but when it comes to the big occasions, once again, yeah, I've got to start your best players. And Fabinho, he's one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. Now moving on to the left central midfield spot, I'm going to go ahead with Mr. Thiago Alcantara. Another one pretty straightforward. One of the best central midfielders we've had at this club. He's got tons of experience, obviously winning a Man the Match award in the Champions League final as well for Bayern Munich. And he's definitely been one of the standout players in this side for this season. If anyone's deserved of a spot in this final in that midfield, he's the first name on that team sheet. We're definitely going to need players who can press and pass the ball around the likes of Kris, Casemiro, and obviously Luka Modric. And maybe, just maybe, Thiago is that guy. Moving on to the right central midfield spot, this is probably the toughest decision Klopp has to make throughout the whole team. And I personally think he's going to go with Jordan Henderson, but I would prefer Naby Keita. The reason I think he's going to go with Jordan Henderson is because he's the captain. But is it fair to say he actually deserves to start the final? I'm not really sure. Every single big match Henderson has started this season, we've not won. I know you can argue that he brings a lot more calmness to the side, but I think there's been plenty of occasions this season where that's just not true. Looking at Man City at the Etihad, he was non-existent in that midfield. Against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, we went 2-0 up. In 2 minutes, we concede 2 goals. And there's been plenty of moments where he's just been caught out defensively. In comparison to Naby Keita, when he started that FA Cup semi-final against Man City, we absolutely battered them. Albeit we conceded 2 goals in the second half, but Keita wasn't even there for one of them. And in fact, I'm just a lot more calm when Keita is with the ball than Jordan Henderson. That's not to say Henderson's a bad player. I think Naby Keita just has that more technical ability that we'll need in this Madrid match. With all due respect to Henderson, a lot of his go-to passes are just to hoof the ball up front and hope one of the front three latches onto it. But with Naby Keita, he likes to take players on, he likes doing the defensive work, and he finds himself in the box more often than not. Either way, Klopp's got a very tough decision on his hands because the midfield battle is where, in my opinion, the match is going to be won and lost. Now moving on to the front three, another three positions, pretty straightforward. In that right wing spot, we're going to go with Mohamed Salah, a man completely robbed off that Player of the Season award by Kevin De Bruyne. Salah's definitely going to be a man on fire. Obviously, looking at his celebrations after his goal against Wolves, he thought he won the Premier League for us. And then when the fans let him know, Man City have brought it back to 3-2, you just saw that all of his motivation just leave his body. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be fired up for this final to bring home a treble. 2022 has definitely been a tough year for Mohamed Salah so far, not scoring as often as he was in the first half of the season. Finding out he's not going to be going to the World Cup and obviously losing in the Africa Cup of Nations final to Senegal. But for a lot of the criticism he gets, his stats actually aren't even that bad. Let's completely take this non-penalty goal stat out of the window because it's just a made-up stat. It's one thing bringing up Salah only has 1 or 2 open play goals this season, which first of all is not true. But it's another thing completely ignoring the fact penalties are literally part of football. You know, Salah's only missed 1 penalty for us this season. So who would we expect to take that penalty in the final? Do we want Mané on there, who's known for missing penalties? Or do we want Mohamed Salah, a proficient goal scorer in penalties? Let me have a think. So yeah, enough of my rant about Mohamed Salah. Up front, we're going to go with the Senegalese superstar, the Ballon d'Or winner, Sadio Mane. A man who's criticised a lot last year, but this season he's completely turned it around. He's won the Africa Cup of Nations for Senegal, he sent them to the World Cup, and obviously he's already a Carabao Cup winner, an FA Cup winner, and he's hoping to make that a quadruple for himself. Playing that centre forward role has completely changed the way Mane just approaches the game. We saw obviously when he was playing in that left wing position, he just wasn't taking players on like he used to do. But he still had that finishing touch, and dare I say it, his link-up play is very good. So it's definitely a smart decision from Klopp to move Mane from that left-hand side to the centre forward role. And the final position on the pitch, left wing, we're going to go with Luis Diaz. A man who's breathed fresh air straight into this club. Obviously he's been motivating players who weren't scoring as often. Looking at Sadio Mane, for example, weren't scoring as often in the first half of the season, but second half, he's just been a new player. And Luis Diaz, just as an individual, has been superb for us. He's brought a new dynamic to our attack, he's taking players on, he's got all the skills in the world. And these South American players, I'm telling you, they're saucy dons, they're saucy dons. His goal scoring stats for us so far aren't overly impressive. However, there's so much more to his game than just scoring goals. He's already used to the gegenpress where he could just full on sprint and run around the pitch for the whole 90 minutes. And it just looks like he's been part of this Liverpool team for the past 3 or 4 seasons. Now with everything wrapped up, we're going to go ahead and give our score predictions. Make sure you comment down below your score predictions as well. In my opinion, it's going to be a very tight match. I think there's a bit of doubt just because of the midfield. Obviously with Thiago, he's not 100% fit, and you could argue the case for Fabinho as well. But I do think there's just too much quality in this Liverpool side. We've lost 3 matches all seasons, and when it comes to the big matches, although we haven't won, we also haven't lost them. And when it came to the finals against Chelsea and the semi-final against Manchester City in the FA Cup, we won them both. Albeit Real Madrid are a European super team, they've got the most by far, 13 Champions Leagues, hoping to make that 14. But Liverpool are the European pride and joy of England, and I'm pretty sure we are going to make it number 7. I'm not as confident as the Spurs final. I'm pretty sure 100% of the fan base aren't, but I'm pretty sure we are 10 times more confident than we were going into that Kiev final. We can definitely have a go at Real Madrid's defence. I don't think Alaba and Militao are particularly good. Same with Dani Carvajal. I think Luis Diaz will have him on the ropes. And from a defensive point of view, I think we may just slightly have an extra bit of quality than Real Madrid's forwards. Benzema in particular, he's been incredible this season, and obviously won the front runners for the Ballon d'Or. But I'll tell you what, this current Liverpool side under Jurgen Klopp, we just don't tend to lose finals. You know, excluding Community Shields, the last one we didn't lose was against Real Madrid and Kiev. But if we're arguing a case, I don't really think that's the same sort of Klopp side compared to this one. But as far as numbers go, I'm going to go with a 3-2 win to Liverpool. Hopefully it's a lot more comfortable than that. But with that being said, thank you for watching everyone. Make sure you hit that like button. And a little birdie's told me that if you subscribe to the LFC Transfer Room channel, your team is going to win their next Champions League final. So with all of that out of the way, there's going to be a watch along for the Champions League final on Saturday. Make sure you stay tuned for that. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you all in the next video.